running fans, jumping fans, throwing fans, all around athletics fans. Welcome to Talking in Ovals. How's everybody doing out there on this Monday, May 20th of 2024? Episode number 89 coming at you. Partner in crime over there, Dave Hyatt. What's up, brother?
Just a few things. I love Femke Bowl, but if Sydney McLaughlin is healthy, it's not a contest. She just ran 22 flat pretty much with a headwind and crushed a very good field in 200 meters. If she's running that fast now in the 200, forget about it.
We'll find out, right? Because
And
I'm always curious to see.
I know. And the old guy is hanging around. Good old Centro, back-to-back 335s with a nice kick. He ran a great last lap.
So incredibly happy for Matt Centrowitz and the way he kind of brought it in there, like you said, late. Like we were all questioning, where is his speed, right?
Yeah.
That was the big question. Where is Centro's speed? And it's there.
It is.
It's there. 335 firmly puts him, I think, fourth right now in the 1500.
And he kicked with the kickers.
He kicked with the kickers, which is something we haven't seen him do in years.
And his post race interview was fantastic. Talking about, hey, you know what? So many guys that I came in with, they're now coaching, doing this. I'm doing this for the older guys.
Yeah. I hope everyone liked our little buddy, our little sprite there. We got to name him. That little guy running around, just doing his thing, always going on the track and the music. I know everyone loved it there, but
his effort is endless. He can just keep going.
Endless, like the Energizer Bunny. But
he is.
Let's get into the fun stuff. If you like what you hear today, give us a like, share, follow, subscribe, 5-star rating, spread this word of mouth. And if you're watching us on X, hi, thank you. Give us a repost, give us a like there. Go give us a follow. If you're on YouTube, give us a subscribe. Smash the like button there. We are on a quest for more subs and more followers. We're up 1 follower, Dave.
Yeah.
On X. Everyone counts, though. We're up to 1,024. Let's keep that number going up. But we are now up to, where are we at on our Talking in Ovals? We're up to 34 subs. That's up from 28 last week. So thank you for anyone that subscribed. We are pumped. We're trying to get to 50 on YouTube, 1,500 over on X. So help us on the quest to get there. Make us the most popular track and field running podcast in general of all. Before we bring in our guests, last week's show, we had an awesome show. We had an official, Mike Mooney, on the show for an NJSIA official, a coach, a competitor himself, Masters competitor.
Sub 5 minutes at 58 years old.
Incredible. Just incredible stuff. I can't run 5 now. It's ridiculous. But
I can't run 5 feet.
It was great. We do have a clip that I'm going to put out pretty soon from that show that I thought was great. Didn't put it out yet, but that's a teaser. That's what's called the teaser, everyone. You see that? See that great podcasting right there?
Wonderful.
Media aficionado over here. But was an awesome show. We had a good time. Some quick things to get through. I want to give one of our former guests a shout out, Adam Nalvin. The registration for the 3rd annual River Rock and Run 5K, Saturday, November 16th, is out there. Run the new and improved 5K. You could do a solo course. You could partner up with the relay, baton handoffs with that. 100% of the proceeds go to fulfill Mammoth and Ocean Food Bank just in time for Thanksgiving. Dave, where is that going to be run this year? Do you know?
I believe it's starting in the same area in Brick at River Rock Restaurant. There's some great food and drinks afterwards. Just go. I mean, it's fun. There's no other race like it where you can combine a 5K with each person running like 1.5 miles. With a handoff and a baton.
Exactly.
Great food and drinks. Nalvin's top notch. He does a great job in making sure that this meet runs well, and just go and check it out, guys.
I'm also want to give a quick shout out before we jump into the PRs. Trackstar.me, Olympic Dreams, Give, Send, Go. I'm not going to stop giving that a shout out. Everyone, if you're listening here, if you can go over to, if I'm not going to be lazy here, boom, on screen, there's the Give, Send, Go, www.givesendgo.com/GBKDF. Go there. We had 7 athletes on. We had amazing shows with all of them. They are all Olympic level athletes. They can be there. They're top 25 in the country, all at their events. They're sniffing around. And, one of them, Matt Ludwig, was an Olympian. So let's get them back there. What thing that they need funds. They do not get paid. Runners get paid terribly. So please, please, please give what you can. $5, $10, $100. It doesn't matter. Give what you can. It all goes far. So we thank everyone for that. So I'm going to bring in our guest because he has a PR that he's going to give up. And, we are going to.
I have 2 as well.
You have 2. So we're going to let him go. And then I have a whole bunch. But we're going to bring him in. He is someone that we've had on before. We're pumped to have him on. But now we get to see his shiny, happy face. And it's going to be great.
And we're having him on solo this time.
Yeah, solo. We don't have some other guy to ruin it for him now. We love John. But here he's on. We have Alex Lynch. He is a legend of the MDB fashion, and he's also the head girls coach over at Ocean Township for track. What is going on, Lynch?
What's up, guys? How are we doing?
We are excited to have you on. It's nice to finally see you. I see that you are, what sweater you're there? You wearing some cool swag?
It's one of the
Ocean Track, yeah.
Ocean Track. It's our indoor merch from this season. It's a
See.
little like OT in the track lanes and stuff.
I'm gonna try. I've been really unsuccessful, but send them out. Send us out some. What are we doing here? We will rock it. We will rock it. I'm rocking books right now. I'd much rather rock you.
Buy you one and send it to you too, but then I just completely forgot the last shop that we had.
I mean, you hate me. That's
It's
all
true.
I
I do hate you.
You hate me. You wear my name better, and that's okay.
As you could tell, there's a past friendship here with both Alexes.
Past friendship, coach and athlete relationship as well. For like,
I have that too, kind of.
Yeah. So we're all Manchester guys. So Manchester, New Jersey.
Well, you guys went there. I just coached there.
Yeah, but you know what though? You're a part of the cesspool now. Like you can't once you're in, you're out.
Once a hawk, always a hawk, man.
Exactly. So Lynch, I'm gonna let you give your shout out first.
For the PRs for
Ocean
Township, we had Eve Siegel. She threw 44 feet and 5 inches in the shot put to win short conference. It's also broke the school record by a foot in 3 inches. I think the record was 43.2. And Eve started throwing a year ago for me. She was a hurdler for me and was like one of my top 3 hurdlers. And she got tired of hurdling and running, and she went, "I'm going to start throwing." And I thought, okay, whatever, Eve, you do whatever you want to do. And she just morphed into this insane athlete for shot put and disc. So it's really awesome.
I like how humble you are that you take no credit in her becoming a good thrower. Like you
everything.
You just go do you, and when you figure it out, let me know. So then
you don't want to hurdle just to go throw 44 feet. That doesn't happen. We have kids on our team who might not want to hurdle, but they're not throwing 44 feet. So that is an excellent coaching job right there. Saying go, you're going to be better at the throw.
Just go, just do it.
All right, I'm going to give my PRs quick. We have Chris Reyes from Manasquan's been trying to break 2 for a while. Finally got under 159.23 at short conference, which probably would have beat Alex's winning time.
Would 100% beat it. Mine was well, no. I was 150.
Close.
158.
All right, so but he would have
outkicked him.
But instead he got 7th.
Knocking me.
Instead he got 7th, which is crazy. And Trevor Holloway finally got under 5 minutes, 4:53, and then came back the next day and ran a 10:40. So congrats, guys. Keep it up. It's a blast seeing you guys just work hard and get better every single day.
So I have a whole bunch of shout outs to give here. So we're going to start first, Riley Schoonover. Corey is another Manchester alumni, and she is over out in California. She's a sophomore, ran a 2:15.31 800-meter run over in the California Senior Masters. She's going to officially go to California States there. So I'm pumped for her. 2:15.31 as a sophomore.
What the hell is the Senior Masters?
I don't know what it's like. The California Senior, something. I don't know.
These other states, man, they got these crazy.
I probably got
divisions
it wrong, but awesome for her. And I already said we're booking Riley for the show this summer. So Riley's going to eventually jump on the show. 2:15 as a sophomore.
Good.
Let's go. Let's go. And I consider her Manchester adjacent because of Corey, so I take credit for that as Manchester. I want to give a shout out. One of my Running Red Fox. I'm a Marist guy as well. Our Running Red Fox alum Todd Colson, his daughter Nora Colson, had a 15-second PR at her final meet. She ran a 7:10 mile. She started off this year at 7:59, so she's knocked it down.
7:8.
And and she did an awesome job. So we are pumped for Nora there. And now I want to go through this long succession because the Toms River North boys, man, the Toms River North boys, short conference champions.
Rolling.
6 of their individuals combined for 93 out of their 119 points. And they have a bevy of PRs. I'm going to get through as quick as I can here. So 110 hurdles, Cameron Thomas, 14.31, first place. Jael Hester, 15.06. Mordecai Ford, 15.09. 200. Lorensky Ambroise, I got butchered that, sorry. 21.90 for second. And Judu Diawara, 22.0 for third. That's ridiculous. You have a 22.9 and a 22 in your back pocket. The hell? 400 hurdles. Cameron Thomas, 53.4 first and a school record in the 400 hurdles. Then Mordecai Ford, 55.01 for second. In the 400, Mamadi Diawara, 49.14 first over there. And then Lorensky Ambroise again, 49.66 to take second in the 800. Tayshawn Wilson, 153.48 to take
That was a
third.
big PR there.
An incredible 153 gets you third at Shores right now. Connor Burns, 203.06, would have placed probably in my year, but great PR.
Might have been second.
Probably. No, Monroe was there, and stop it. I wasn't that slow, damn it. I wasn't the worst short conference champion of all time. One of them, though. 1600, Dan Mine ran a 430, a big PR. In the 3200, Garen Kuvitz, a 1002. Gred Alcid ran a 1037. Long jump, Micah Ford tied his PR with the 20-foot to win on his last attempt. High jump, Jael Hester and Mordecai Ford tied their PR at 6'2", finishing 2nd and 6th respectively. And in shot, Yanni Papa Nicholas ran through for a 53-foot 6-inch PR. So
I just
incredible.
Micah Ford was not 20 feet; he was 23 feet.
Yeah, that's what I said. Micah for 23 feet to win.
Okay, and then they went 21.37 and 21.2.
Those are the PRs that they sent me. I saw,
gotcha.
But Tom's River North, obviously representing the area,
has had a long tradition. They had a great coach in John Coleman, followed by Matt Jelly and Bob Farrell, who are now doing great things at Rutgers. So
yes, I mean,
they have had tradition there for a long time. Obviously, when I was at South, we were better, so that was cool for my 4 years. We got to beat them, but they are just a powerhouse, big school, doing it right, and it's good to see. Even though it's not my high school, it's my hometown. So
listen, and you know what though? Like, we're the redheaded stepsister of Tom's River at Manchester. So again, I take credit for all their success. No, I'm kidding. Great job, North. We're pumped to have, if someone's gonna win the shore, I'm pumped that it's like Tom's River or someone right around us. So that's always fun. But Alex, I want to jump in because this show's about you.
Yep.
This show is about you, son. So we didn't have a last time, when we had you and Davern on. We really didn't have the same structure that we had now, where we like to talk about you guys and things like that. So we want to jump in right away. When did you get the spark that you wanted to become a runner and that you wanted this to be something that you're going to do?
I think it was like, I think back to like middle school all the time, and I was a soccer junkie. Like, I loved playing soccer. I think I started playing soccer at like 4 or 5 years old, and I played midfield. I was always one of the wide out midfield. So I was always the one that was running up and down the field most of the time. Coach would just throw me in at any time in the game and just have me go up and down the field as much as I needed
Coach
to.
Colombo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Happy retirement, Coach.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I get to middle school and I start doing track, and I thought I was going to be a sprinter because I was always able to just beat out defenders all the time as a midfielder to get to cross into the box. And then I get there, and Pick and all of them and Lowing were like, yeah, I don't think you're going to be a sprinter. I was like, what do you mean? They're like, you'll probably be a distance runner. I was like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what distance running is. And the very first meet, they put me in a mile that time in 6th grade. And I think I ran like a 6:15 mile or 6:10 mile to start in 6th grade. And I was
you're
like,
screwed at that point. It's over.
And
it's over there.
Well, I mean, listen.
And I had fun doing it. So
right.
I was like, I guess I'm going to keep doing this. So I don't have like an exact spark, but when I got to high school and my freshman year, I was running like 23-minute 5Ks. I didn't really set the world on fire. But my sophomore year, I shot out from 4'11 to 5'6". Huge height difference, obviously. Everybody knows when you go up to 5'6", it makes a world of difference.
4'11", it really does.
Yeah, and I gained like 25 pounds too. I went from 85 pounds like 105 or something like that.
It
and
does make a big difference.
I dropped
bodybuilder then.
Oh, of course. And I dropped my 5K time to like a low 18. And Griff was like, you're in the starting 6, dude, or starting 7 now. And I'm like, all right. And then I think that's what started my spark. Because then John came up, LJ, like all the guys that were underneath me came up. And then I really had a good team. And then that really rejuvenated me to be like, I can do this in college, I think.
See, now, had you run cross country in middle school, not only would you have been under the tutelage of Coach Hyatt, but you also would have been on, like, I think we won like 5 straight conference titles with it, because I
think I did cross country like my 7th and 8th grade year.
Yes.
I tried soccer in the fall of 6th grade, and I joined, and I think it was like me and like Jojo Tomei were like the 1-2 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or I was like 3, and then Jojo went to go do other stuff, but I kept doing running.
Yep. And then right after that, after you left, we won like 5 straight conferences.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
That's 'cause
John
you
Dowerman's always winning more without me for some reason.
It's funny too, because it's like I never had the chance to run middle school XC. I ran track for 1 year, and then my parents moved me to Lakers because they hate me, and we didn't have cross country and track over in Lakers. So it's like it's fun to hear about like the middle school experience, right?
It
For
was
me,
fun.
I didn't have that. Like I ran sixth grade. I think I ran like a 5:23, and I was like, dope. I'm pretty cool. And then they dipped out. Like seventh and eighth grade, it was like that's gone. So that was always fun. So that was your spark. So Alex, talk about some of your like your fond memories, right? Because you ended up you ran over in college. You did all that fun stuff. Talk about your fun memories that you had from competing in middle school, high school, going into college. What are some of the best things that you can think of?
Yeah, I mean, middle school's a blur for me. I don't remember much of it at all. I really only remember cross country meets from middle school. I don't even remember track meets. I remember showing up to the high school to do track meets, but I don't remember like anything after that. But high school, I think the big memories for me was like when I got to my senior year and I was the only kid that ran distance in my entire graduating class. So I was the only kid that was a distance runner for the class of 2016. There was other kids like Connor Law and all of them, but they kind of fizzled out towards the end. And it was just me, Kennedy, Davern, JJ, LJ, like all those guys. And we realized that we could be like really good in our division. Like we were almost there to beat Point, and Point had Devin Hart at the time. So they had like a really good squad going into that. And we ended up only losing to them by like 2 points. It was something of like we had to get like 1 or 2 spots gained. I dropped like a 35-second PR at Ocean County Park that race because I wanted the championship so bad. And Griff was really firing me up to get it. So that's like a really fond memory from high school. And then college, kind of the same song and dance. We were really good at Chestnut Hill in the CACC conference against Georgian Cord and Wilmington. And my junior year of college, we also lost by 2 points in the championship because we didn't get enough points. I think that may have been my fault in college, so I lost a couple spots at the end. So it could have been my fault. It is what it is. I was like the 4 or 5 guy there. I was never like the top 2 because I had a guy like Ziggy on my team with me, Ziggy Fisher. He was like top dog in the CACC in our region. So that was really fun to like get close to those championships. And I felt like that made me a better coach and runner to like have it that close both times and how to bounce back that quickly to make sure my spring seasons were okay, make sure my indoor season's okay. Because when you get that close and you lose, it hurts. Like it hurts tremendously to not get that championship, especially when you see your coaches want it just as bad as you. But the other fond memories are just like the dumb stuff we would do. Like in college, like the bus rides going home or the stops at Wawa after meets, or in high school, us going through the trails and going on runs with air quotes around the run and going somewhere stupid in the woods.
Griff, don't listen to these. Your current team definitely doesn't do this, Griff. They never would.
They never would. They never would. Manchester kids never do that.
Let's give Griff a huge shout out. They are going next week for their 4th straight South Jersey Group 2 title. Now, whether they get it or not, that'll be known. But I mean, what a tremendous program they are not just building, that they have there. I mean, they have every event almost covered. Him, Scheffler, man, those guys are just doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, they're some of the best out there. And and it's interesting because like you said, Lynch, like bringing yourself, getting that close, definitely made you better as a coach. Now, what about some of the coaches you had? Talk about like Griffin, things like that, and your coach over at Chestnut Hill. Did they and their tutelage help prepare you to want to be a coach? What made you want to go into coaching? Was this a decision that it was like you knew you wanted to do it while you were running mid? Because you're obviously, you're a teacher, you're an educator. Was that something that was always coming with the package? Like, I want to coach. I'm going to go be an educator. I always want to coach. Or was it something that was kind of like, I guess I'll coach if I need to?
It was honestly like the second I had Musoff as a teacher, I knew I wanted to be a teacher.
Yeah.
So that like I think I had him as a sophomore.
Love John Musoff
in high school.
Amazing.
So when I had him for US 1 honors or whatever the hell that class was, I would like be there, and he was a really fun teacher to have. So at that point, like as a 15-year-old, I knew that I wanted to be a teacher. I didn't really think about coaching at all. I just knew I wanted to go to school to be an educator. And then really
my favorite thing about John Musoff is he's a good historian. The man teaches you more about life. than
Yeah,
he
he
will
does.
about like my favorite thing always when you're in honors, Lynch, you probably got this. Hyatt, you never got the enjoyment, was whenever you would miff up a little, right? He would sit there and be like, "You guys in here, you guys are gonna do something. You see them out there? They're never gonna leave this town." And it was, I love Muse. Like he would just sit there and be like, "This is the group. This is the group right here." And it's like, but he was just such like,
Oh, he's the best.
anyone
Listen,
would run through a wall for Muse, and that's why he was one of the greatest indoor coaches
any
of all time.
man
Right?
who is confident enough to bring a comb for his mustache to a track meet is
Oh,
is,
yeah.
And to rock a Fu
Oh,
Manchu
yeah.
too,
is
everywhere.
the greatest.
Like,
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
and
yeah.
now that like the straight, perfectly white hair. Oh,
God,
the best.
he was a dog. Sorry.
All right, hold
A
on.
unit on the track.
Hot off the press.
Oh,
Hot
boy.
off the press. Just got a text from Griff. They were at Haddonfield distance tonight, and he sent me some PRs.
No, yeah, let's do it.
All right, we got Chase Griffith, his son, a freshman, 204.02 as a freshman.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
That's solid.
That's gotta
Solid.
be, that has to be the record. That has to be the freshman record.
Another freshman, Gavin Hanlon, 207.75. So two freshmen,
Bring in
207 or
heat.
better. Joe Rowe, not sure the grade. He might be a freshman too at this rate, 211.87. Sullivan Nolan, 206.06. And Will Ashton, who was having a hard, he couldn't get under 440 indoors. Now he rocks a 431.29. Hell of a job for the Hawks in Haddonfield tonight.
Nice
That's
job.
solid.
Good job, Hawks.
Yeah, Griff's like going to that meet. I think he went there last year too.
He did. Well, yeah, last year Nick Lafredo ran a 155 there.
It
Yeah.
gives you distance kids a nice little cross country feel.
We're going to
Like,
Homedale
just going as a
tomorrow,
distance crew,
and-
Yeah, I'm
you know?
going to be there too. I got
And
like
I'm
8
pumped.
girls going.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so go ahead, Lynch. I'm sorry. You were
Sorry,
talking.
guys.
We ruined your train of thought. No, it's fine, Dave. I
Nah.
screwed it up at the Moose Talk.
I still got it in my noggin. Don't worry.
That's you being an educator. Go ahead, Lynch.
So the educator spot was definitely just being in like Musop's class and being like, okay, this is definitely what I want to do. I want to talk to kids, set them up for life. Not really like Musop cared about like the history curriculum, but like that's not really your job as an educator most of the time. Your job is to prepare them for whatever they're doing, right? Whatever they want to do in life. So you're trying to get them the necessary skills, and Musop was able to do that for me. When it came to coaching, I kind of flirted with the idea like my senior year, like after reflecting on like what Griff did for me at the high school level, I really started thinking like, I think I want to do this. I'm not really sure. I kind of want to see how college feels out. And then when I got to college, my coach was Phil Riley at the time. He's not there anymore, but Coach Phil really showed me like the inner workings of like programs and how to set up workouts and just every aspect of track too, not just distance. Cause like my bubble in high school was like just distance running. Like I didn't really know much about like sprints. I knew enough because like Jordan Torney was my teammate. So I always talked to him a lot and like knew about a couple things with hurdles and stuff like that. But he showed me, Coach Phil showed me like the inner workings of like everything. And once I learned that, I was like, okay, like sophomore year of college, junior year of college, I was like, I'm definitely going to be a coach. I just have to find the right spot and hopefully I get opportunities in the future.
And, and we've said it before, and I give credit to, Tom Scheffler and coaches like him, guys that are not in track at all going up. You know what I mean? Like he was a wrestler to come in and have the career he's had as a track coach, to kind of go from being distance coach to weights and like all the many hats that he's worn. And any coaches like him that give up their time and learn the sport, like, like you said, Lynch, you will like learn the ins and outs from your college coach. Could you imagine coming in with like no track base and then having to learn all that and learn all the intricacies of like, okay, distance runners are like this. Some sprinters are here. The rower, like it's a whole new game. And now you're doing it as the head coach of women. And it's a different game to coach young ladies as it is to coach young men as well. There's like, you have to have a different tenor. You have to, understand different things. Workouts are a little different, right?
Yeah. I mean, stuff changes a lot. I mean, 4 years ago when I started coaching my first year teaching at Ocean. I wanted to get my foot in the door right away. I didn't do indoor because I was like, I need time. I'm getting swamped with trying to learn all these lesson plans and how to do a couple things right. But I started coaching in the outdoor season, and Looney's there at Ocean, and we had a bunch of other distance coaches already. So they were kind of like, hey, hurdles. And I was like,
there you go.
I don't really know anything about hurdles, but I guess I'll try and figure it out. And now I'm pretty confident in all that stuff. But it is a different background because like obviously I had a different upbringing with being an athlete as a young male instead of a female. So my thought process was different as an athlete. I was like always pissed off, and like if I got angry, that would fuel me to be a little bit better. But sometimes girls don't have that. Some girls do, some don't. It kind of just depends on the athlete.
Yeah, definitely.
The workouts are different, but with some of the girls I have, I can really like push the envelope with them, and I can really get them going on a few workouts. They may not like me at the end of it,
No.
but they like me a couple days later when they get the PR they want. So it works out for me. But it is a whole different animal. I remember coming out of my first year thinking like, okay, that was a little different than I thought it'd be, but I'm obviously not going to give up. I really enjoyed doing it. And it was the COVID year. I started teaching during the COVID years
Nice.
of 2020,
Yeah, that's tough.
2021. So like to still see the girls and the guys, like I'm the girls head coach, but like I'm all over the place helping everybody. And seeing them care that much, even when like we have to wear masks outside and like all of that stuff, like all of the obstacles are in front of them, and seeing the kids still want to do everything possible, that just like put a whole new spark in track for me. And I was just like, all right, I am doing this for as long as I can, as long as life allows me to.
Hell yeah.
I'll give you a fun hint when it comes to the sprinters, and you may have gotten this already. You'll get that one kid that's incredible at starts and is like a technician at the blocks. Let them teach the other kids.
I've been doing that.
When you
Like,
don't
yeah.
know, like, and then you can learn from them too. Like, that's one of the things about being a coach and a good coach. You're not afraid to learn from your athletes when they do know something, or when they're doing something unorthodox and different that might work. Like, that's the fun stuff. And I could say I had one of the individuals, I would love to have him on, Alex Cunningham. He was over at Marist, and as much of a pain in the ass as he was for a few years, he was an incredible athlete. But man, he was ridiculously good at starts. So like I quite literally, like we'd get like freshmen coming in and they'd be like, "Hey coach, starts and things with blocks I'm not experienced." I'm like, "Go talk to Alex." And I like, go there. I'd be like,
Yep.
I'd be like, "Alex, you got some more here." And he'd be like, "All right, come over here." Like, so
yeah, it helped having like Sadikov, Vigiano, Ethan DeFonseca last year, like all those guys, they taught him a lot, and I do that all the time. Like it's a big plus for me. Not that it makes your job easier as a coach. I like sometimes your coaches say that, but it's nice to know that the kid knows it and they look stuff up on their own and they're doing all of this grunt work on their own to like learn how to be better at the sport. You're doing a successful job as a coach because now they already have, because now they all want to do it. And if they want to teach a few techniques and you watch them, you're just there to tweak, being like, no, that's definitely not right. Because even if you don't know the inner workings of it, you can still see them set up a certain way. And you're like, that's definitely wrong. You need to go rewatch a video again or something like that. So
and
definitely
that's when they whip up the YouTube video they watch. They're like, "Coach, this was it," and you're like, "Well, they're wrong too." Like,
yeah. Don't tell me. I'm the head coach.
I am the dirty Mustafa. So, talk about coaching. What have how many years have you been coaching now?
This is my 4th year. So all 4 years I've been at Ocean. I've been coaching 4 years. This is like my 10th season, 10th or 11th season coaching.
So you've been fortunate to have some amazing athletes come through Ocean.
Yeah.
In your 4 years that you've been there, what has your experience been like as a young coach? It's definitely like I experienced coming in after college with you guys at the high school. And it's like, how has it been kind of establishing that, like, hey, I'm not much older than you, but I'm your coach. We're cool. We could be friendly, but I'm not your friend. I'm your coach. You do what I say. And balancing that, because, you still want to be, simpatico with the athletes. You don't want to be a douche, but you still want to keep that line of, there is a line here. I am an adult. You are still a high school kid.
And it has to be defined.
Yeah. So how has that been balancing that? And like, what have you learned in these past 4 years to kind of like keep that fresh? And especially, again, working with young ladies as a male can be challenging, in a lot of ways. And so what has that been like for you? And Dave, you have good experience of that. You worked with young ladies and things. So, so have I. But what has that been like in the 4 years for you to kind of learn and establish yourself on, being an adult? And you're not a high school kid with them. Like, I can do your workouts, but I'm not cool. Like, what has that been?
It was honestly like the first year, like every new teacher goes through it. You're kind of like trying to find that line, and almost every first teacher or coach is like, okay, I definitely did that wrong. Like, you definitely said a couple things you probably shouldn't have, or
you're going to learn every season. You're going to learn every, I don't care if it's your 30th year, you're still going to learn. At least you should as a coach, or I don't feel that you're doing it right if you think that you have everything figured out. There's always something that you can improve on every single season.
You got to
Yeah.
listen in and you'll be like, okay, I can mess with that athlete. That athlete's a little sensitive. I certainly can't do the same things there. Like you can kind of pick out like, okay, what can I go like, because every athlete needs something different. Right.
But I also think being in the classroom helps with that because you get to see all different kids throughout the actual day. So you have an understanding of different types of kids and what each kid needs. So
what other teacher says about them in their classroom and all those things.
Which I don't always go by. I like to kind of forge my own impression of each athlete and each kid. I don't like to go by
other teachers.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm kidding.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No. So, what has that been like? Like, in terms of like, and how has it been like? Has it gotten better in these 4 years in terms of, because one of the hardest things to do with athletes, especially as you're close in age to them, is to set them straight, right? To be like, no, get over here. This is what you're doing wrong. Like, and encourage them while putting them in their place. Because athletes need sometimes especially when they're feeling themselves, to be like, hey, let's get back down to reality here. Like, this is what it is. Like, how have you found, has that gotten easier as you've gotten, more time in the game?
Yeah, it's definitely gotten easier. Honestly, I've had like really good group of kids keep coming through the doors every single year at Ocean. So like you get the kids, like you get the freshmen that are goofballs and like all of that, but they still understand that even though I'm young, like I'm not even at 30 yet, like they understand that I'm young and I'm still out of college like 4 years ago and all of that. They still understand that like I am the adult, I'm the one in charge of like everything with the paperwork, the program, like everything. So they understand that. And there are kids that get like friendly and they like to joke around, but it's been a pretty easy transition to just be like, hey, you can't say that around me. It's like I don't have a problem with being that person that has to say that.
No.
Yeah.
Especially at like a one-on-one level. If the kid's saying something, I can just go up to them and be like, you can't do that. And it was honestly fun trying to get challenged a little bit when we had kids last year, like Mark Vigiano and Sadikoff, like all of them, and get Ocean their first indoor state title and all of that.
Yeah.
They had some pretty big heads. So it was really, that was probably like more of the challenging factor, was like keeping them humble a little bit, but also like allowing them to be like, yeah, no, I am that good. And I think we struck a good balance with them.
It's so hard because Viciano and Sadikoff were that good. Like, they were right. Yeah. So it was really tough. Like,
it's almost to a point where like kids in their team are like, why are they so talented? It's not fair. I work twice as hard and I'm not as talented. And I'm like, it's just
how it is,
man. It's just, they got the
thing ability. Is, when you look at them though, and you're like, yeah, they're talented, but look at the workout they just did. They're not resting on their laurels. Like they're going out, and you have Sadikoff, he's ripping twos, right? Like, and like running like whatever it was. Like you're still doing the work, and that's kind of where you can point to some of the other athletes. It's like, yeah, they're talented, but I'm not letting them rest on that as coach. They're working their ass off. Like, keep working. Like use them as an inspiration. And
do you guys? I'm sorry, Alex.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Do you guys train as two separate teams, or do you guys kind of like combine?
Like it's like a mix. Yeah, it's like technically like the girls are in their own heat and stuff, but they're getting like the same workouts, just like less reps or whatever.
So you get to coach with every coach there.
Yeah, we have 6 coaches, and like I'm the head girls, and Mark the Soma is the head boys. But like we're all over. Like I can be at the throwing pit. I don't know jack about throwing, but I can be over there helping out if I ever need to be at a meet.
You can shear 44 feet though. I mean, any coach can.
Oh, of course.
God, yeah,
of course I can.
You know what's good when you see it. You don't have to know nothing. You're just like, ball goes far, awesome, and we can call it a ball, right?
Jordan Geist gave us that
Jordan
permission.
Geist.
He's a 76 high school thrower, so he said, "Call it a ball." I said, "All right."
When you see a bomb go flying, you're like, "Okay, yeah, that's definitely
because like
moonshot.
You have someone there like Coach Looney who's been there forever. Yeah. So having someone like that has to help too. And there's a lot of coaches there who have been there for some time, so it's always great to have that elder coachman there who you can throw ideas off of and really kind of pick their brain because they've been through almost everything.
Yeah, and it's been awesome to have the coaching staff I've had. We've had a little bit of a revolving door with the girls' outdoor position since I came in to, I don't even know what year this is for head coaching for me, maybe 2 for the girls. I think I took it over last year. But yeah, it's been really fun. I really haven't had many issues with the kids understanding that like I'm the one in charge. Like even though I am young, you can still have like a little bit more of a different relationship. They don't look at me as like the father figure. I'm kind of like the older brother figure.
Right.
And I kind of leaned into that a little bit. Like, yeah, you can like shoot a couple ideas at me and like all of those things, but you understand that I'm still the adult in the room.
I still don't care about your breakup. I still
Right.
don't want to hear
Yeah.
about your like a social
Yeah.
life isn't like a little bit. You're gonna get those rumors. You're gonna hear them as a teacher. You guys know
Yeah.
more. One thing I found out being a sub, teachers know more about what goes on in the school than I ever did as a kid.
We
and
know
you
everything.
Go into the
Oh,
teachers
yeah.
now, and everyone's
Kids
talking
talk,
about it,
You
and
know,
it's
you're
like,
oh, what was
but
that?
it's also it's like, how do you guys know? Like, why do you guys care? Oh my god.
Because you just
No, but
hear
but
them.
like it's also good, having so many coaches because you guys can take turns playing good cop, bad cop. Like it. Not everybody always has to have the same defined role.
And Lynch is
So-
too nice of a guy to play bad cop.
Yeah, most of the time I'm not really the bad cop guy unless I
Lynch
have
is
to
such a
be.
nice guy, and he doesn't want to. He'll probably go up to the other coach and just be like, "I can't lose this yet. This is only
Unless I'm heated. You've seen me get heated a couple
I
times.
have seen you get."
And then if I get pretty mad, then I'm kind of just hold me back kind of attitude. But I don't get mad often. It takes a lot to get me in a professional setting, at least.
I mean, and the thing is too, and I imagine like Dave will say this, you'll find your triggers more when it comes to messing with your athletes. Coaches,
Yeah.
whatever, could say
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
they want to you. The moment of something is screws with your athletes, that's gonna be your hold me back moment.
Or a
'Cause it's
kid
like,
gets disqualified, and you're like, that was a bullshit call.
when you're robbing my athlete of something they worked their ass off for, like that's when you kind of
Oh,
get
yeah.
pissed. And so speaking of that, we have, states are coming up, right? Talk about some of the girls that you're coaching right now. Who are we looking out for? Do you have any people that you want to give shout outs to that we're looking for performances? What do we got going on with the Ocean Girls?
I mean, if you look at just the 800 for the Group 2 Central, it's like
ridiculous.
it's insanely stacked.
So
So
it's
like
the
when you
hardest
look
group.
at the outdoor list, I'm even going to pull it up as I'm talking
It's
about it. But
insane.
like
You
when
want
you
to
look up,
throw it on the share? You could share it and we could pull it up. If you request to share, I
yeah,
should
let
be
me
able to
see
throw
that.
it up there. Let's see if you're savvy.
Let's
You're
see,
dealing with
share.
two elder statesmen. If you can't figure this out, then
I am.
you're in
Share.
trouble. There it is.
So I requested. So this is Group 2 Central.
It's insane.
So Clemmy Lily from RFH, like all these girls, like it's a 206, 210, 211, 213, 214, 217, 217. And there's my girl Liv. That's who I was about to bring into. Like Liv
Liv's great.
is kind of like on the outside looking in just because of like the times we've hit this season. She hit a 215 last year in outdoor nationals. So
Yeah.
I know like the workouts I've seen from her, I know she's much faster than a 218. I know she's capable of being in this top 6 mix easily. And it's just come into like she's getting that wear and tear as a junior now. She's been doing this for a while, right? So she's just feeling like no like injuries, just like the normal, like, oh, I don't feel as fresh as I used to when I was a freshman and a sophomore. And you have to go through those woes. Even though you are still young, you still have to take care of your body.
And she's come back from already, like, she's shown some mental toughness already just this year battling through things. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't doubt that she's going to show out. And she's the type of girl that we've talked about this. She looks at the competition and, with your tutelage and everything, she's like, all right, lunch. Like, I'm going to get in there. I'm going to mix it up. Like, she's not afraid to mix it up and get involved.
Yeah.
Right. I'd like to make an addendum to our episode with Jim Lambert. I think he's right. I think we will have 10 girls go sub to 10.
Yeah, honestly, with the way
Yeah, like look at
this
the
list
Group 2
alone.
Central alone.
Well, look at
a
Union
medium
Catholic's going to
group.
have 4 or 5 themselves.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna have all of them. And like Angelina there for Squan's great. Kathleen's great.
Kakia,
Ivy's
she
been
had a PR too.
racing really well. This
Yeah.
girl Callie's been lighting it up too. She only ran like I think 220s last year.
Was
as a
the
freshman.
wall girl?
Yeah.
Oh, and she just ran a 5 flat last year.
Yeah,
but,
she's been lighting
she's
it up.
Incredible, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like we have an insanely loaded. So like Liv's the first one I'm looking out for Ocean. When it comes to like other PRs and stuff, I've got some girls that are like around like the 237s, 234s. So I'm trying to get them as close to 230 as I can. So if I can get them to 230, I know one girl wants to get to 230 or under. The other girls want to get near like that 233. And we're running out of meets to do it. So I'm hoping I can get them access. But it's tough when you only get 3 entries at the state round. You got to really pick and choose. Some of them may have to try and get it at the 4x8 relay instead. And then you're also trying to not jeopardize the 4x8 relay not advancing because I think we have a top 6 team in the 4x8. So you got to really play the balancing game. But those, like my distance girls, we're all looking for that. And then don't know what else the plans are after that. Like we may do a 4x8, may do a couple miles. I'm not really sure. don't really want to show my hand anyway.
No, definitely don't.
So
Don't show that hand. So do we have anyone, anyone else outside of,
Wait.
some go ahead, Dave.
Well, I'm saying like he has a great throwing team.
Yes.
They're just on fire. So
yeah,
well, but no, but he's right. I
Lowe's
mean,
doing good,
Central
too.
Group 2 girls is, I mean, Rumson itself, I think, has 4 girls under 215. At least 3 who are like 211 or better. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's insane. So like that's alone just the 800, and then when it comes to sprints, I've got these 2 freshmen that are actually kind of lighting it up, and they ran like 13 fives as a freshman in their hundreds, and they're running 28 flats in their 200, like a 28 flat and then a 2802. And one's a soccer player who's never really done track before. I think she did it in middle school. I don't really remember. But she, like, you look at her and you're like, okay, if I get her form fixed, because she runs like a soccer player, and you're like, if I get that form fixed, she'll be fine. And then the other girl, she's just a track athlete. She jumps like 16 something feet in long jump for us this year as a freshman.
Nice.
She was only like 7 inches off of our record as a freshman. So she's someone to look out for. Our throws, obviously, I can't say enough about Eve. And her teammate, Gamilla, who's been a basketball player for most of her time in Ocean. She did track like here and there, and she really bought into the season this year. And she really only bought in because Eve was there. Like, she saw Eve having a lot of success, and she was like, I really like being there. I think she said to me a couple times for meets of like, I'll be there if Eve's there, and like all those things. So it's really fun having that tandem. And I think Gamilla's like ranked 3rd in our section, and Eve's ranked 1st. So
and
we have a really fun team.
The fact that she's like, oh, I kind of don't want to be here unless she's there, but I might just advance,
Yeah,
groups
I think that was the
have a
feeling in the
chance at, like,
beginning for her.
that's
Like,
awesome.
I think that was the feeling in the beginning for her because she's a basketball player. She's going to Adelphi for basketball and going to play there. But she did mention to me on short conference that she's interested in also throwing for them now too.
She certainly can. She just won't. Obviously, she won't do indoor, but she could do outdoor.
Yeah, but she was like, I think that was kind of the attitude in the beginning, but now I think she's really liking it, getting accustomed to it. And she's been throwing great. 40 was the first time. I think that was the first time she got to 40.
Yeah,
Saturday
you have
conference.
2 girls over 40 feet. That's insane.
It's crazy.
So
to go along with Livia and all them. I mean, this 800 is going to be fun.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The girls group 2 800.
It's going to run
Central
like almost
Jersey.
like a meet of champions
It's
style
gonna be
800.
Until you realize that there's probably like 10 other girls who are 210 or better. This state is insane, man. It's just ridiculous.
It's crazy.
So one of the things that I find nuts is that you have a ton of depth right now, Lynch, over at the girls side, but you guys are only going to get better.
Rumor has
you have some great stuff coming over at the middle school.
Great. Sub 5.
Yeah.
Great.
Kind of, what do you have coming up that maybe, like, again, I don't want you to give away too much inside baseball, but I think it's pretty well known at this point.
She's got a ton of publicity. Yeah. So it's not a secret anymore. When coaches are coming to you at meets and coming to Looney at meets being like, hey, who's this girl you got coming up? It's like, okay, everybody knows who it is. But we do have depth without even adding these 8th graders and 7th graders potentially coming up in a couple of years. Like, I did that Frosh novice meet on Tuesday. I think you were there, Hyatt, right?
I was there.
And I had 8 girls. I didn't have 8 girls, but my top 8 girls in the 800 all run a 240 or better right now. So I already have a really solid distance depth program, and our sprints are getting a little bit of depth. But now with that distance program, I've got this girl from 8th grade. Her name's Lee Starkey. She's coming up, and she just recently on Friday actually stayed for the middle school meet to watch. So I wanted to get the clock on my own to make sure I'm not being lied to. I trusted them, but I got to see it for myself. You know?
Of course you do.
And
Sub 5.
she's sitting there, and I was like sitting right at the beginning of turn 1. I'm sitting there by the high jump pit at Ocean, and I've got my stopwatch going. I was like coaching her there basically. She came around at the half. I'm like, all right, you're at a 234. If you want that sub 5, you got to pick it up. And she negative splitted that second half to get a 459,
which is very impressive for a girl in 8th
and then
grade.
You know how middle school meets are. They don't get a lot of rest in between the events.
No.
So she was doing the double that day. She was doing a mile 8 that day. And I thought that was crazy that she was even doing that. She did the mile, ran a 459. Her friend and teammate, Knight Howell, he's a boy. They train together a lot, and they actually threw Starkey in the
yes, I
race.
read that they wanted to put her in with the boys
Yeah,
so that she could
because the
have a chance
fastest girl
to-
time after that was like a 6:02 from Ocean as a
Wow.
sixth grader. So pretty
Still
decent.
fantastic.
Pretty
602 is
decent.
still
Yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
And
sub 6
but
is
like I
nothing to,
understand why they
stop
wanted to
at.
put her in the boy heat. So and Knight ended up edging her out because they both wanted a sub 5. So Knight also got a 4:59. So I'm not the boys coach primarily, but I am the head coach in indoor, and we only get one head coach for that. So I coach both the boys and girls. So that made me excited for the indoor season to have a
Hell
kid
yeah.
like him come in. But
It's
they had
always-
short rest.
Yeah.
And 15 minutes, I think they did for the 200 heats because they do a mile 200, and then she was up in the 8.
All right, they got the 8. All right.
I don't know how they set it up that way, but she comes back in the
Weird-
8,
weird
and
order, that's-
she said before the line, she's like, I'm just hoping for a 230. And I'm like, okay, just a 230, whatever.
Yeah,
And she hits
just a 230 as an 8th grader.
and
Just
she
no
hits
big
and
deal.
she hit a 224 after
Yeah.
15 minutes of running a sub 5
Awesome.
mile. So
Solid.
she's really exciting.
And
There's a lot of
kudos to
talk.
her for going to her local high school.
Yes.
Yeah, not
Keep
going
it
to a
that way.
different
Let's
school.
keep her there.
But
So
it is fun having, like, she's getting a lot of talk, and kids on the team are talking about her and stuff too.
Yeah.
And it's been fun having that, but I've also been like starting to shift away from that a little bit, just to tell the kids like, hey, I know it's exciting for the future, but we do still have a season and
Yeah.
task at hand this year, so we
Absolutely.
got to put
Yeah,
that on the back burner for a little bit.
No, but I mean, but it's obviously it's exciting, and the real issue's going to be, and it sounds like, your girls there are awesome, but it's how can they handle if someone comes in and beats them as a freshman? That's a dynamic that you'll have to handle for the first time next year as a coach. But from what I've seen, it should be pretty seamless for you.
I'm hoping so. Our cross country team should be pretty fun in the fall.
There you go.
I'm really excited for it.
So I have one more question. I know you you have your bedtime soon, so I don't want to make you cranky for your students. In the
Well, now you started getting me going, so now
So in your 4 years, one of the big topics has been the super shoes, right? And you kind of started coaching at like the beginning of like the super shoes craze. Now, I don't think they were really big up until like 2 years ago, right? That they really became
I didn't really run in like these super shoes.
No. So
I certainly didn't.
Have you seen an impact on your athletes when they're starting to like get some the ones that did get the super shoes as opposed to the ones that didn't?
I've got one kid on my team that has bought, like, we did the math one day. He came after school and did the math with me on the whiteboard.
Probably
He
like
spent
$5,000.
like $1,050 on spikes. He bought a spike like the MDX 500s or whatever, the New Balance, like blah blah blah. Like he's bought so many.
Right.
And
Is he running a 151? Like, what the hell did you get?
That is when you say, Ma, Santa, I don't need anything for a Christmas.
he's running
I'm good.
He's running like a 49.25, so he's
not bad.
pretty
That's-
decent.
That's
You know
great,
what? But make
49.
sure you continue to go to run. No, but with the super shoes, I'm just making fun. Just joking.
Yeah.
49 is
Questa,
fantastic.
When did 49 high school just become good?
I'm joking around, but it was a super shoes joke. No, 49's fantastic. And make sure next time you go to you get your super shoes, go to Runners High and Freehold. See, easy
Good
plug
spot.
there.
Good
Craig
spot.
Siegel.
See, that's where you got to go.
Craig Siegel.
But yeah, the
Craig
super
Siegel.
shoes are definitely like, the kids talk about them all the time now. They're all like, I got to get this shoe. I got to get this shoe. Even Liv bought a Cindy McLaughlin spikes. I don't know what they're called, but they're like the fancy New Balance
yeah.
ones. Yeah. The ones that you don't even interchange the spikes out of them. They're just permanent spikes in the bottom of the shoe.
They had a couple permanent spike shoes when I was young, and they were these different spikes. They were like graphite, so they were much lighter. But again, this is back 90s. But
So
like
let's talk
they had
about,
spikes that were always in there that you.
but they're called cleats. Let's really talk about it. Those are called.
They were
cleats.
track spikes. I didn't run in soccer
But they're
cleats.
cleats. That's what cleats are. They're meant to give you more grip and traction when run. Like spikes are removable little metal things.
Yeah,
Those
all
are
they really
called
do
cleats.
in those shoes that they have now, they just take the spike that you would put in the shoe, and then they kind of just like mold the plastic from the shoe around it on the bottom, and like that's it.
I don't like that because I was such a Nazi about like removing my spikes that I thought
Yeah, but
were
these
like
ones stay
semi-dull.
sharp. These stay
Yeah,
sharp.
they say like super sharp.
I mean,
They're
as
like
long
some
as-
kind of like composite, and they're way lighter than the actual metal spikes too.
Yeah, that's why a lot of kids have been buying them. I think in this day and age, it's like what you got to do. Like if you're gonna be,
Yeah.
like if you're a girl like Liv in her shoes and she's trying to get advancing to groups and nationals and meet a chance, like all these things, every single girl's doing it.
that's what they're all
Hey,
gonna be
you have
wearing.
to-
Yeah.
Plus
Yeah, yeah.
also heard and read, that they really help with the recovery process. Like you can run harder workouts and you can recover faster because it's not as impactful on your legs. I haven't worn them. I have no reason to. I'm a 46-year-old bald overweight man, so I have no.
One of the kids gave me the kid that bought all those spikes. He gave me the Victories to try, and like I tried them on, and like I couldn't believe like how different they were on my feet. I was like, this is like different,
like air.
Crazy different. Like,
Did
I felt
you
like I was
like
running
it,
on
or
air.
was it something that was like
It
weird?
forced me on my toes a little bit more, which I'm not used to. The Victories are also like not like I was a 5 and 10K guy when it came to college. Like my spikes were like just a perfect line flat the entire time because I didn't want any toes. So it felt weird at first, but I liked it because I was getting like crazy push off. I felt insanely light.
Is
The
it worth
spikes felt good.
$600 or whatever the hell they
Yeah,
cost?
exactly. Right? Is it worth the $150 shoe?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
The answer, yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you're dropping,
Everyone wear. I
pounds,
mean, like you will not find a top race without a.
no, they all got Dragonflies.
throwing.
They all got New Balance ones. They all got
And
whatever.
like
they
you said,
have.
if he's running a 49, that is putting you in conversation to be competitive in the state. So it is paying off and it's good. So yeah, I was joking 49, but 49 is fantastic. Okay. I'm only messing around. Dave, take the joke, damn it. But so yeah, so the super shoes have had an impact, and it's weird, right? To see like all this technology coming in, and it's like just advanced even Lynch from when you were running in high school and things like that. Like,
Yeah,
just
dude.
how different it is.
The shoes were not like that. It's like weird. 4 years ago, I graduated from college, and like I was wearing like normal New Balance cross country spikes, and like not like these crazy things that are souped up with different, like they got cobalt plates now and all this stuff.
yeah.
I'm like, holy crap, what is going on?
Why they cost so much?
And this
Yeah.
is the most recent big advancement, because I don't think the spikes from like my time were much different than what you were running in Lynch. Like I think maybe some aerodynamic things, like they probably had like some gimmicky things, but I don't think it was like super different because the model was kind of the Nike milers for your middle distance, and that kind of was the mold for a lot of other brands because they were the lead shoe.
Mine were a little different.
Yeah, yours were like 13-inch spikes, and
Oh yeah,
they were made of clay,
cinder
and-
tracks.
You shook Roger Bannister's hand at the line, like you
He
were
just beat me out. He just edged me out. I was like 401.
Oh, come on, man.
man.
Could have been me.
The damn Yanks, you can't keep up with them. But all right, Lynch, Dave, do you have any other questions?
No, I just want to say, like, it's so cool seeing, someone that I've known who competed, who I, maybe had a little part of coaching while he was there. I was not Alex's main coach because he had Griff, and you don't need anybody else. But it's just great seeing, that he's teaching and his passion for the sport, because we need more people like this. And I really feel like we are getting that. There's a lot of more teachers and kids who are getting into coaching who have a background. When I first started coaching, especially middle school level, I mean, there were no coaches who knew anything about track or cross country. I remember going to meets where they didn't know how to keep score in cross country. And I'm like, oh, it's the lowest score that wins. What are you talking about? So it's just great seeing someone who has such passion. He's doing a great job. I see him at all these meets. You could see the respect and the positive rapport that he's built with his girls and the boys and the whole team and his other coaching staff. And it's just awesome. And I wish Alex nothing but the absolute best. Obviously, I hope that, us at Manasquan get some kids in before his in certain races, but that's just, coaching and,
just
wanting
the code, man.
wanting your athletes to do best. But, we're always rooting for Ocean to do great things, fellow short conference school. And it's just awesome.
Yeah, you guys have a good program there too, and I really like Brian over there and the other coaches.
The J, baby, the J.
Yeah, they're all really fun, and it's like fun to see.
We can switch tracks for a season if you want to come and coach on a 250-meter track that doesn't go all the way.
I think that's where
around.
The line kind of stops.
Fraternity ends there,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, but it is fun to see you out there, Dave. Like just knowing that you're like out in the turf somewhere. I'm like, it's still crazy to me to think like one of my middle school coaches and like helping out in like high school a little bit here and there too. Like it's crazy to think that I'm like, this guy is like it's a full circle moment for me to be coaching and see guys like you.
Listen,
like you and Griff there, and it's like Griff comes over to me and like shoots the shit with me a couple times, and he's like talking to me like a peer and asking how, especially when that indoor title came.
Yep,
it was me versus Manchester. So it was coming like it was my second year or my third year coaching. It's a full circle.
And you're going against your
I got to go up
your old
against
coach.
Griff. Are you kidding me?
But you
And
know
I'm like-
how he works. You know all of his inner
But
workings.
and
inside
he will be the
baseball.
first one to congratulate you. You know.
Oh yeah, he'd be
It's-
proud
Yeah,
of you.
he actually was. He was the
Yeah.
very first guy that walked over.
You know, but it's
And we had a whole text conversation like the 3 days before. We were like, he was asking me for information, I'm asking him for information, like who are you running, who am I running, like trying to figure out how our team can be set up. And that was like really fun, and that was like a crazy moment for me to like just to have the coaches I grew up with be there. Now I'm peers, and they ask me for ideas, and working with like Coach Looney too, who's known so much about this sport, and he's done everything. He's walked on to his college's teams and stuff like that. And now we're trying to refill that stable a little bit. I got Emily Deroni, who's an Ocean alumni. She's coaching there now at Ocean with me, and she's really loving it. And like, it's what you're saying, Dave, of like having younger coaches come in and they have that passion and they want to be there. It really like sparked something in me, because I'll say this for the kids at the banquet too, but like, this is my first class all the way through, so this season's a little bit more special to me to have the start we've had, and like see these senior girls I've had since they were freshmen, little kids just being like goofballs the entire time, and now they're full-grown 18-year-olds. And at a time for me, I lost my senior season to COVID. We were like about to go to Myrtle Beach like 2 days before the world shut down, and I didn't get a senior season. Chestnut Hill tells me, hey, school's closed. I still have a year of eligibility now.
Crazy.
So I went through a couple months of just like, I hate running. This sucks. I don't know what I want to do.
I was in the group chat for all that.
Yeah. And then it was just awful. And then I started coaching, and seeing these kids want to perform just sparked something in me. So as long as we keep getting coaches that are younger, not that they have to be younger, but as long as they have the passion and they want to be there, it's awesome.
And the thing is,
and they could really help with all the technology that's out there.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a lot makes a big difference that we've seen from all the coaches that we interviewed, and we've interviewed a ton of great coaches on this show. We've been great. You know, I've been very grateful that Dave has so many, Dave has so many great connections back to the individuals that he competed with at Rutgers and things like that. And the relationships he built as a coach that was able to get us some of the best coaches in all the, New Jersey to come on this show. And, Lynch, I think you're on your way, because one of the big things is passion and being passionate and caring about your kids, like caring almost to a fault about them as people, not only as athletes. And I think that's one thing that all the great coaches we've had on this show, from Coach Conover jumping on, which we freaking love, to, Wilfredo, to Brian, to, I can't even,
Christofelsky, Sean McCafferty,
just
Scotty Baker.
Yeah, just don't want to leave anyone out. All the great ones we've had. And
Todd Briggs.
You have that same quality. You do. You're sharing that quality of just a passion and caring. And as long as that comes first, your athletes will try to perform for you. Yeah. And I think you're seeing that. If they know that you give a shit,
it is evident.
They are going to give an effort, and they're going to buy in. Buying in's huge.
Yeah.
They're going to believe you, and they're going to put their faith in you, and don't screw it up.
Listen,
and that's all. It's like, don't screw up their faith. Like, coach them the right way, damn it. But that's the part of being a coach.
Listen, like being gone for a couple years and now coming back into the coaching, seeing coaches like Alex and other young coaches, and even seeing coaches that are my age. You're right. They all have a passion and a desire, like some of the coaches that I coach with, they're not even teachers, but they come to practice every day because that's what their passion is. They don't teach in the school. They don't teach at all. They have other jobs, but they come to practice to be with these kids and to be a positive role model for them, and to make sure, because they love it. They have a passion. And I think this is one sport that you can't fake it with the athletes. Nope. They know exactly. If you are full of crap,
through you.
If you were full of crap and you don't know what you're talking about, and you're seeing all their friends get faster and faster, or their peers, they all know. So
just ask the kids my first year hurdle coaching and ask them how I was doing in that.
I have been there too, but just seeing Alex at the meets and the way that his team responds to him, and, trying to make the decisions on the fly, he's doing a hell of a job. And you could tell by the results that they're getting. So it's an honor to share the track with you. I know you said that's cool seeing me and Griff. It's amazing. I'm not going to speak for Griff, but for me, seeing you and seeing other people that I had any sort of positive influence in their life, giving back to the sport that I have loved for my whole life, It's amazing, and
Shout
we
out
need
to
more
Katie
of it.
Finnery, another alumni, Manchester
Yeah,
She's
she's
at
alumni.
Liberty.
Shout out to
Jackson.
Katie over
Yeah,
at
she's at
Liberty.
Liberty.
She's at Liberty. I see her too, and it's like, this is great, or like I see so many of my college roommates at Rutgers. They're all into coaching, and some of them are the most successful coaches in the state. It's wonderful. It's a passion. It's a fraternity, and I love every single second of it. Like, I can't go to enough track meets.
You've officially joined the fraternity of head coaches in the Ocean County that has been on Talking in Ovals and in the New Jersey. So now you could go and have a conversation with them about what episode was about you. So, we're
even Mooney. I was talking to him
at
the meet just Saturday about it. I was like, hey, nice episode. It was his birthday like a week ago or something too.
Yep.
So that was really fun too.
So
and
go ahead.
It is really fun just like having that, like all the coaches there. It's just really cool seeing the experience, like bouncing ideas off of people and seeing Dave there and like everybody there. It's a good dynamic with the shore. I think it's really fun.
But don't think every old timer is going to give you all of their secrets, because
they never do.
They still have some in their back pocket that you will never know, and that I will never know. There's nothing like, some of these coaches have coached 40 years, and every season is more experience, and they are people that should be cherished for forever in this state.
What's going to be dope for you is if you're doing this 4 or 5 years, 6 years later, you're going to be in this exact position where you're looking, and across the track, one of your former athletes is now a coaching, and it's at another school or whatever.
That'll make me feel old. I'll be like, okay, I'm not young anymore.
Listen, let me tell you right now, dude, you are old. You're officially old. Like,
I got past 25. You're right.
Stop being cool. Like, you're done being cool.
Can we stop this conversation?
No,
please?
it's true. This
is the most asinine conversation I've ever heard in my life.
The second I say like a slang term in the classroom, the kids look at me funny now, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Listen,
you know how old I am, right?
I tell dad jokes in the classroom all the time.
And though they expect that from you.
Well, why?
They would expect that from me because we're old.
Because I'm bald.
Dude. Because I have gray hair. You're bald. Alex is in that limbo of where like he's still is culturally in line with a lot of the same things.
The kids are shocked that I have like Snapchat on my phone,
but they look at him and they're
Snapchat.
Like, he's a dinosaur. He's old. He's a teacher. Like, listen, I still thought my teacher slept at the school during high school. Okay. Like I was still, but it's like, it's cool. So last thing I want to ask you, Lynch, before you leave, the question that we ask or try to ask all of our guests, we didn't ask Mooney. We'll ask him when he gets back on. If you had a magic wand and you could fix the sport of track and field to make it more profitable, more popular at all levels, any level, to just make it a better sport for the casual fan, what would you fix?
To make it more profitable,
more popular, like casuals would sit there and be like, hey, I want to watch track this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know how many times you get the same answers on here, but I think it really is just
marketing.
Two things. It's marketing, publicity about it, and make it available to watch track meets. Why do I have to go on like 4 different apps? I gotta go on Flow Track. I gotta go on Peacock. I gotta watch the rerun on NBC at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's like,
I put out a tweet this week because Sidious Mag put out this thing of like the different ways to watch all these meets this week. It was like
they had to do
5 different links. I mean, some of them free, some of them not. It's just like
it's like all the paywalls too, and if you want to have a good conversation, you get.
I think I spent $70 every month just to watch some freaking track.
Yeah, exactly. And if you want a fun conversation, you get Davern back on here. He works.
Because I know he's all about the paywall, and I think he's dead wrong.
Yeah, because he works for Milesplit, so he's going to have.
He has to. Now. He has to because it's
because they're owned by
paywall. They're going to be like, okay, you don't want a paywall? We have to cut something. There's your job. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So he needs to be all about that paywall, But
they do do a lot of work for Milesplit, though. I will give them that.
He works
like it's crazy. Like if they did provide all of it for free, I'd be like, all right, that's kind of crazy. Like they're working a lot to make sure.
We need Lambert and Keller to get paid too.
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
There's a level to do it. And the thing is, you're a NASCAR fan, right? Big time NASCAR fan.
I am, yeah.
If NASCAR wasn't openly available every single weekend with the the lower levels truck and even the major, like if they all weren't available to watch for free, would NASCAR be as popular?
No,
no one would care about cars going fast. Like a very niche group would care, right? It's all about the availability.
Yeah, and now I don't know how we're doing that now because it's going to be, they've announced they're doing more streaming services like every normal sport now too. So it's like, I don't know what's going to happen.
But there is rumor that Michael Johnson wants to put his on free TV.
He should. He should.
So, and
that'd be fun.
I mean, him and Kyle Merber, like they know what the sport needs, that they are. So I'm just hoping that his new league is going to give us what we all need.
I
Like,
think that would be my third thing to fix it is just get the right people in, like you're about to say, Dave. Like get the right people
100%.
involved to make sure that they're track athletes. You know, like they're the ones that
The right people who have money.
Yeah, the right people who have money.
Yes, and you
give me a couple grand, I'll go do what I need to.
It's gonna take more than that, but yeah,
it's exciting. we have Michael Johnson. We have our buddy Kirk Berridge, former member on the show. He announced the Track Star League, which is very ambitious, but we're excited if he can.
He wants big time sponsors, and he wants Google, he wants Apple,
And if he wants it, so quick little synopsis. I don't want to pull it up with the Track Star League because we talked about Michael Johnson's. He wants to have 7 teams, 6 regional, 1 unattached, and each owner of a team, he wants them to build a stadium equal or better than Diamond League stadiums in Europe.
That's the part that I'm kind of like,
if he can get the corporate sponsorships, then it'll work.
But he also said he's looking for not the top level athlete, the next lower level.
But the thing is, that's 90%.
If he gets 6 owners to build tracks like Diamond League, he's getting the top level people. I mean,
but that's the thing.
They can stay here and compete here in the United States. What athlete's not going to want to do that?
If his vision comes true and we have him and Michael Johnson's league in the United States, I think the Diamond League may be dead because people will come to the United States to compete because it's the United States still.
Let's see how it goes.
Something about it. And maybe all 3 can coexist and the sport of track could just blow up, and that would be amazing.
Are you better? Cuesta, are you ready for what might be the best meet on paper that we've ever had this weekend in Prefontaine?
No, it's going to be amazing. Now, who's going to
the mile? the women's 8.
It's going to be the Prefontaine. And you know what though? And
that's the only meet the NBC is keeping. They're like, you can have Diamond League, but we're keeping Prefontaine.
And I will say this: kudos to the LA Grand Prix. They put on after last year's disappointment.
It was great.
This year turned out. The LA Grand Prix was incredible. The 5K not being freaking no coverage of the 5K was insane. Because it was one of the best 5Ks we've seen.
4 or 5 guys under 13.
Insane. So it's like, but Pre's going to be great. I'm excited to watch the Pre Classic.
And then and then coming right around the corner is the U.S. trials, and then the Olympics.
Exactly.
Darren will be there. He'll be working the trials for Mile Split.
Nice.
Maybe we can listen. He'll be our correspondent. Screw Mile Split. We'll have him be a talking ovals correspondent over there.
Yeah, I think Mile Split probably.
He was supposed to go to Nashville with me to go see a cup race, and he was like, "Hey, dude, I just got called to work trials," and I was like, "Well, you're gonna go work the Olympic trials, right? Yeah. Don't come to Nashville."
I don't know, man. Nashville's pretty dope.
It's the Olympic trials.
It's the Olympic trials.
And he's getting paid.
Getting paid.
Got to go to trials, and you know what we'll do, Dave? We'll just give him a bunch of our cards, and we'll just have him hand them out to the athletes.
Smart.
See what to do there. Just
Scott will be there too. Scott Darren, give him some stuff.
Because he works for USADA. So
USADA, yeah.
There you go. All right, Alex, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
Of course, it was really fun.
So once again, he is Alex Lynch. He's a head coach of Ocean Township Girls Track and Field, also an MDB legend. If you don't know what MDB is, you don't need to know. And we just had a great time talking to you. Again, go follow on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at @OT_track. Alex will keep you up to date on everything going on with the ladies and the men over there for track and field. And if you like what you heard today, give us a like, share, follow, subscribe, rate 5 stars. If you're on X, retweet, repost, whatever it is. If you're on YouTube, go give us a subscription, smash the like button, do something over there. And either way, we'll be back next week for some fun. Everyone, thanks so much for watching.